Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
हाँ मैं गुमसुम इन राहों की तरह तेरे ख्वाबों में तेरी ख्वाहिशों में छुपा
Pratik Kuhad, welcome to Film Companion, my show on the channel, which is called Spill the Tea.
Hi Sneha, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
How's it going? I'm going to put up like a disclaimer right at the start of the show that it's going to take a fair amount of restraint for me to come across as a journalist and not a fangirl. So, but I'll also let you know that I'm absolutely thrilled to have you on the show.
Thank you.
First things first, I want to ask you, Pratik, you went from touring 30 cities in 2 months to going straight into lockdown. Something like this is bound to mess with your system. What is your headspace right now? Where are you?
Initially it was kind of nice because, like you said, I went from extensively touring to, just being at home all the time. So I think it was almost, it's kind of what I wanted at some level, it's not contradictory, but it's conflicting because at one level you want to keep touring and keep playing shows and keep traveling and keep doing that because you want to just keep things going. But at another level, you're so exhausted that you also just kind of want to be home and do nothing for a while, which is basically what happened this entire year.
I'm curious to know, did you spend this time writing more music? I want to understand your writing process a little bit because I know you talk about the discipline and the work ethic that really goes into being an artist. What would I find if I were to get access of your voice notes or your notepad on your phone?
There's no fixed way I go about it. So I do use my voice notes app a lot. There's, and that's just something you get into the habit of doing when I think you're in any sort of a creative field, that anytime you get any sort of an idea or any sort of thought that you feel is important, you want to record it and keep that at least for later. And honestly, 99% of the times you don't even ever come back to it, but you just keep it anyway. So there's thousands of ideas like that which I never go back to, and invariably it's I don't know, it's also kind of makes it easier to remember. So if I record something and I keep it, I might not go back to it, but if it's good, I'll usually just remember it, and then I will sing it again or play it again or work on it again.
But I read rather that you said in an interview recently that one of the things you've learned from your peers is not to believe in yourself too much. What does that even mean? I have literally never heard someone say that.
I don't know. Honestly, to be completely honest, sometimes I just say these things because I'm a little tired of answering the same question over and over again. And a lot of time I get questions which just seem like they just taken from somewhere else and basically given from another interview. And it's just but I do kind of mean that as well in a serious way, because I think you can kind of believe in yourself too much sometimes. I mean, there's a point where you need to be realistic about yourself and what you want. Sometimes we maybe 10 years ago I wanted to be a painter, and maybe I don't want to be a painter anymore, but just because I'm holding on to that thought from 10 years ago, and I'm we tend to confuse that with determination on wanting to believe in yourself and be it'll eventually happen. So there's a thin line. So that's kind of what I meant by that, because I feel sometimes we just get lost in the rut of, not necessarily the rut, but just the this train that just keeps going, and you're I want to just keep going, I just keep going. And sometimes you're just going brainlessly. We reach that point that you're not even thinking whether you want to be on that train or not. So I think every now and then it's good to just look back, just take a step back and just look around yourself and be am I on the right track? Am I doing everything that truly I want? Or is it something that, 15-year-old me wanted, or if it's something that society wants or like somebody else wants. And if the answer is one of those things, then it's probably time to like relook everything you're doing.
So I'm sure this time has given you ample time to introspect. Have you been able to have any of these conversations with yourself?
Not a lot, because I feel like I keep checking myself from time to time. Uh, Even during my busiest times, I try to take out some time to just do nothing for like maybe even like 15 minutes, because that's all it really takes, of just doing nothing to actually like be able to uh, introspect and self reflect about what you want and what you don't want, and just kind of like rebalance and ensure that like your head is straight. And I try to do that as much as possible. So I've always kind of had that on I mean, quite the contrary, like through this lockdown, it's been more about how I keep myself occupied and keep doing things that like, because there's honestly so much free time that I'm like just constantly looking for new things to do and new ways to like keep just kind of like get through the day almost.
Lying in my bed thinking you would come over. I just wanna feel like I did in October.
But listen, how do you not believe in the hype? Because you see headlines that tout you as the poster boy for millennial heartbreak and Instagrammable pain. Have you truly figured out what your USP is? And how do you not believe in your own hype?
My USP is something I've never really thought about. And not even anybody like I work with really thinks about that. I mean, it's like journalists make stories out of it, like fans will, everybody's trying to look for a pattern into things, right? Constantly, whether it's a person or like just anything at all. We're always trying to look for patterns, and like that's really what a USP is, right? I mean, somebody's trying to like figure out what it is that I focused on to get to wherever I did. And there's really like no sort of a selling angle I ever thought about, or anybody I worked with, my managers or the team around me, like nobody really like thinks of that as a priority at all, or even like we don't even discuss it.
But then what happens when you have comments like the Sasta John Mayer, or that viral video that showed us how to sing like Pratik Kuhad, which wasn't particularly flattering? Do you have a sense of humor when it comes to this stuff?
I don't actually. I feel like I should, but I get like really annoyed when I see shit like that. It like totally ruins my day. So that's why I don't even like, there's a lot of like artists out there who really like embrace that stuff and just repost it and be like haha, but it just really pisses me off. So I just ignore it, try not to think about it too much. But that's the real answer to be honest. I don't like it. But what are you gonna do about it? I also know it's like out of my control. So just gotta, pisses me off for an hour, then I get over it, start doing something else.
You've also dabbled a bit in Bollywood and off late, but you somehow come across the kind of guy who will be rather choosy about where he'd invest his time and energy. So I'm curious to know about some of the strangest pitches from Bollywood that have showed up at your table. Does that happen?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I should talk about it, because then, like, if I don't know, I don't want people to get offended. But I don't know. I mean, there's always like, I mean, it's nothing strange like out of as an expectation. There'll be one strange thing is that a lot of times there'll be like, I've had conversations with like producers and directors, really prominent producers and directors, like literally people who have made like massive films, and saying they're really interested. And then there's a 1 hour chat happens and there's a creative and all of that. And then when my manager talks about budget, it's like they almost don't have a budget. So that's like, I find that a really strange thing, because and these are not like like, this is not like amateur direct, these are people who have made like high budget like Bollywood films with like so that always surprises me. And after that happened a few times, like I said that, look, dude, I told my manager that just like get the budget out of the way, because otherwise we're just wasting both our times, because it's like a 2 hour long chat and the producer's giving this really passionate pitch about his story and all of that. And it's not like, you know, I don't know. So there's that happens, which is a bit like odd and awkward, to be honest. But other than that, every now and then there's been people who've just asked me to like do something which is clearly something I won't be able to do. Like, you know, like just musically, that's hard to explain. Just creatively, like I feel like I have a strength, and you know, if you ask me to, you know, compose a Punjabi banger, like I definitely will not do a good job of that. I mean, I like that kind of music and I listen to all sort of stuff, but I won't be able to do a good job of it. So if somebody expects that out of me, that's a bit like, again, weird. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. So that's kind of like what happens every now and then.
But does it ever, like, do you ever feel excited to do something that would completely break the fixed notions almost of a Prateek Kuhad anthem?
No, I actually don't. And it's not because I don't want to, or it's not because I feel like I can't do it, but it's just more about one, I'm just cautious in general. I'm a cautious person. So, you know, anytime I'm doing anything new, I'm doubting myself a lot more than, you know, believing in myself. So if I'm doing something really drastically different from the kind of stuff I do, then I'd always be wary of myself, because, you know, humans just tend to be like mostly like accepting of them. I mean, not accepting is not the right word, but just like giving themselves you know, leeway. So I could make something really bad and still think it's really good, you know what I mean? So I try to be like objective about myself as much as I can. And because of that, anything that you do new, it's basically something that you're not used to doing and something you're not good at doing, clearly, because it takes time to get good at stuff, right? It takes practice. So I'm just really cautious about that. And it's not and I just think it'll happen naturally, you know. Eventually, the more people I work with and the more kind of things I explore, which I do you know, on my own time, just because I don't release something like very different from what is the usual Prateek Kuhad sound, doesn't mean I'm working on it. So I am, but it's just that like everything that I do usually sucks because I'm not good at it yet, you know. So there will be a time when, you know, I feel like confident about something which will be different sound wise or maybe lyrically, that I'll put out someday. So, you know, but till then it's like I don't want to do anything in a hurry, basically.
So are you saying that somewhere deep inside your voice notes, buried somewhere, there could be like a rap song?
There's not like a rap song, but yeah, like singing styles, different singing styles, like different production styles. Every now and then I'll do something crazy, and it sucks. It really does, because like I'm not good at it right now.
You seem awfully critical of yourself. So I'm curious to know, who are really your sounding boards? Like, who's telling you that it sucks so hard?
Well, nobody's telling me. It's myself. And look, people, look, anybody who's close to you, anybody who's your sounding board, it's like a double-edged sword. If somebody's too critical, then it's a problem, and if they're not critical enough, it's a problem. And you never know, and one person can never be, or even like a group of 5 people will never be representative of what is objectively good or bad, right? So I take opinions, and every time I make something like that, I'll take opinions and I'll look for reactions. Not like what, even if I make my girlfriend listen to something new, like she will never say that, dude, that sucks. Like, you know, nobody will ever say that to me, right? Like nobody ever says that. Even if you, I mean, if you write something or if you do something and you show it to a stranger, it's almost it's highly unlikely that they turn around and be like, dude, this is just atrocious, like just give up. Nobody's ever going to say that. So nobody goes too critical, and so you can never be sure enough. So you have to kind of read the other person's expressions and like kind of read between the lines to tell if they're, you know. So my girlfriend might say that, oh yeah, it's not bad, but that probably means it sucks, you know, for example. So that's how I kind of like, I use sounding boards, but I try to like, again, be wary of them.
You also have to put yourself in the other person's feet and realize that they're talking to Prateek Kuhad. So you'll probably end up judging them for not liking it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure.
Nah, I mean, it's not even that really. I mean, I know you're joking, but like, it's just even like 5 years ago or whatever, you know, like everybody who listens to my stuff is like people who are close to me to a certain degree, you know. So nobody is ever, and honestly nothing is ever that bad also. After a certain level, anything I write or make will never be like atrociously bad. It won't be like chaos to your like ears, but it'll be average, and average is like not acceptable, right?
That's profound. But I know that you're in a rather serious relationship now, but I do want to know, is there ever that mingling stress of over time perhaps forgetting what that pain of young millennial heartbreak really feels like? The one that gave you some of your biggest chart busters. Is that ever like a area of concern?
Yeah. I mean, I think about it sometimes, and I think like anybody who gets older thinks about that, like kind of like not losing your youth a little bit, but changing. And in some ways you change for the better, in some ways you change for the worse. And what's gonna like, in what direction is the balance gonna tip is only something that time will really tell, right? I mean, you just try your best to not let it tip too bad, right? I mean, so but not particularly the heartbreak stuff. I mean, I feel like there'll be something else to write about. And I think like if you're good at basically like writing a song, being a songwriter, then what you have to write about will come your way at some point or the other. It's just about like patience.
I've also been very curious to know what it's like to date Prateek Kuhad. Have you been in awkward spots where women just expect you to serenade them from the word go? That sounds like it's like a really funny picture in my head.
I mean, not really. No, most people are like quite wary of fucking that. Like, I mean, if I go back to the time when I was single and like actually like dating or whatever, and just meeting many people, it didn't happen. Like, it happened a couple of times and it got very awkward, but usually it didn't happen. People are usually quite yeah.
Okay, and finally, before I do let you go, I know you don't like taking requests at the end of a gig, but I am going to request to hear your favorite Prateek Kuhad song. Can you do that for us?
हाँ मैं गुमसुम इन राहों की तरह तेरे ख्वाबों में तेरी ख्वाहिशों में छुपा ना जाने क्यों है रोज का सिलसिला तू रूह की है दास्तां तेरे जुल्फों की ये नमी तेरी आँखों का ये नशा यहाँ खो भी जाऊं तो मैं क्या कसूर है मेरा क्या कसूर है मेरा
Thank you so much. I'm going to town saying that I had a live Prateek Kuhad concert in my living room. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Really, thank you so much for being on the channel. Really can't wait what you have next. Thank you, Prateek.
Hi, I'm Prateek Kuhad, and if you like this video, then subscribe to Film Companion.